Welcome to Neo Nexus. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. The South China Sea, a vital waterway for global trade and a hotspot for territorial disputes, is once again at the center of international attention. In August 2025, the Philippine government unveiled a new set of national maps. This wasn't just a routine update, it was a bold political statement, signaling Manila's intent to assert its rights and challenge competing claims. These updated maps draw clear lines around the country's maritime boundaries, directly confronting China's sweeping 9-dash line, which covers vast stretches of the sea. The maps meticulously detail the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, a 200 nautical mile area where the country has special rights to explore and use marine resources, from fishing to energy reserves. By publishing these maps, Manila is sending a message to the world. Its territorial claims are grounded in international law, especially the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. This move is part of a broader, multi-layered strategy to push back against encroachment, strengthen maritime security, and solidify the Philippines' legal standing in the face of growing regional tensions. At home, the new maps have become a rallying point, uniting Filipinos under a clear vision of their national territory and reinforcing a sense of pride and sovereignty. On the international stage, the maps serve as a concrete document for diplomatic engagement, appealing for support and understanding from allies and neutral parties alike. The new maps also serve to discredit China's 9-dash line, which was declared invalid by an international tribunal in 2016, a ruling that China has refused to accept. With this bold step, the Philippines hopes to encourage global recognition of its maritime zones, rally international support, and further isolate China's ongoing non-compliance with international rulings. Ultimately, it's a peaceful, yet resolute assertion of sovereignty, a strategic move in a high-stakes geopolitical contest that will shape the future of the region and the rules that govern our seas. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade, connecting the economies of Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. Every day, hundreds of ships, carrying everything from electronics and oil to food and raw materials, navigate these waters, making it one of the busiest maritime corridors on the planet. In fact, 1/3 of all maritime shipping passes through here each year, representing trillions of dollars in goods. Any disruption in this region could send shockwaves through the global economy, affecting prices and supply chains worldwide. For countries like the Philippines, Japan, and even distant nations such as the United States and Australia, freedom of navigation is essential for economic stability and security. International cooperation and open sea lanes are crucial for keeping trade flowing smoothly. But the South China Sea is more than just a shipping route. Beneath its surface lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, while its waters teem with some of the world's richest fisheries. These resources could transform the Philippine economy, providing jobs, boosting industry, and ensuring food security for millions of people who rely on the sea for their daily sustenance. Control over these waters means access to immense wealth and energy security, shaping the future of entire nations and their ability to prosper. The livelihoods of countless fishing communities depend on access to these waters, with generations of families relying on the sea for income and tradition. Yet, overfishing and ongoing territorial disputes threaten both the environment and the food supplies that sustain millions. Tensions over boundaries and resources put fragile ecosystems and local economies at risk. For the Philippines, the South China Sea is not just an economic asset, but a core part of its national identity, heritage, and security. Its waters are deeply tied to the country's sense of sovereignty and pride. Protecting its rights here is a fight for the nation's future, its independence, and the well-being of generations to come. At the heart of the dispute is a clash between China's historical claims and the Philippines' reliance on international law. China's 9-dash line claims nearly 90% of the sea, citing centuries-old usage. The Philippines, backed by UNCLOS, asserts its exclusive economic zone extends 200 nautical miles from its shores. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled China's claims had no legal basis and that it violated Philippine rights. China rejected the ruling, continuing its patrols and activities in contested waters. This legal standoff fuels ongoing tension, with the Philippines championing a rules-based order and China insisting on its historical narrative. The impasse remains unresolved, driving instability in the region. Legal disputes have spilled into real-world confrontations, escalating tensions in the South China Sea. In 2024 and 2025, incidents between Chinese and Philippine vessels have become more frequent and dangerous. August 2025 saw collisions at sea and a Chinese jet buzzing a Philippine aircraft near Scarborough Shoal. Chinese Coast Guard ships have used water cannons and even rammed Philippine boats, aiming to block access to contested areas. These actions are meant to wear down Philippine resolve through constant pressure. Both sides engage in a war of words, accusing each other of spreading disinformation. The cycle of confrontation and competing narratives creates a volatile environment. Each incident raises the risk of a small spark igniting a larger conflict. Even the name of the sea is a battleground in this conflict. What many around the world have long called the South China Sea is, for Filipinos, a deeply contested space, one where language, history, and sovereignty collide. In 2011, the Philippines officially named its waters the West Philippine Sea, a move designed to assert both national identity and legal claims over the area. This was more than a simple renaming. It was a declaration of intent, a way to reinforce the Philippines' presence and rights in these disputed waters. The naming campaign quickly took root, reframing the narrative for a new generation. It fostered pride and a sense of ownership among Filipinos, inspiring everything from school lessons to public art and community events. For many, the West Philippine Sea became a symbol of unity and resilience. Internationally, the new name serves as a constant reminder of the Philippines' legal position, especially after the landmark 2016 Hague ruling that favored the Philippines. It's a way to keep the world's attention on the ongoing dispute and the country's fight for recognition. A major win came in April 2025 when Google Maps adopted the West Philippine Sea label for the region. This digital shift was more than symbolic. It marked a turning point in how the world views and refers to these waters. This recognition by a global tech giant helped legitimize the term internationally, making it visible to millions of users and reinforcing the Philippines' claim in the digital age. China, however, strongly opposes the name change, viewing it as a direct challenge to its sovereignty and historical claims. The dispute over what to call the sea has become yet another flashpoint in the broader geopolitical struggle. The battle over nomenclature shows that modern conflict is fought not just with ships and soldiers but with words, maps, and information. The struggle for naming rights is a struggle for legitimacy, influence, and control over the narrative. Today, the name itself stands as a powerful symbol of the larger struggle for legitimacy and control, a reminder that in this conflict even language is a weapon. Diplomacy between Manila and Beijing is as contentious as their maritime standoffs. The Philippines publicly calls out China's aggressive actions, seeking international support and transparency. China counters by claiming its actions are lawful, and that Philippine vessels are the provocateurs. Both sides use official statements and media to shape global opinion, each portraying itself as the defender of peace. The dispute has even spilled into cyber and political arenas, with allegations of election interference. This cycle of accusation and denial erodes trust and complicates diplomatic solutions. The information war is as fierce as the struggle at sea. The new Philippine map signals a determined strategy to defend its claims and rally international support. This assertiveness risks provoking stronger responses from China, raising the stakes for regional stability. To counterbalance China, the Philippines has strengthened alliances with the US, Japan, and South Korea, conducting joint military exercises and deepening cooperation. These partnerships provide deterrence and signal that the Philippines is not alone. The hope is to establish a new equilibrium where Philippine rights are respected and Chinese harassment is deterred. The future hinges on whether disputes are managed through law and diplomacy, not force. The new map is a declaration for a rules-based order and a test for the global community. The fate of the South China Sea and the principles of peace hangs in the balance.